Welcome to Madame Raven's. This way to the library. She's been expecting you.
I'm no spring chicken. I'm a 34-year-old man. I do not do internet dating. Every so often, though, I do hook up at a local bar. A nice young country boy, I have a favorite stargazing spot. There's a field that grows giant pumpkins. The sky is always clear. It's a beautiful view to make out and cuddle under, and usually more. When we are finished, there are plenty of pumpkins around to take a look at. I sometimes take one home with me in the truck. Then I strike. They never see it coming. A few stabs and it's all over. Drag the body into the middle of the field, where a single giant pumpkin sits. The scarecrow climbs down from his cross and takes the body. This Halloween is going to be a good harvest indeed. So quoth this raven. I'm a professional dimensional dispatcher. My ex-partner is trying to kill me by PoloniumPoisoning. You have no idea how it is, Howard. Time and time again, I woke up and I didn't know I had jumped. The realities were so alike, and still I felt so helpless in a semi-unknown world. It would take me weeks in each one to realize some difference. It's been, 8 years now? But I still remember the first time. I asked my sister, what was the name of that actor who died during Friends and it got canceled again? At first she thought I was joking, then told me I was crazy after I insisted, dead serious. Friends continued for 10 years and no one died? The seasons were all horrible, by the way. Things got more and more depressing as I learned about the other realities. Christopher Reeve had an awful accident. Lady Di was killed. Oprah's not president? This is the worst timeline, Howard. And for me, it is the last. Remember when I discovered the structure inside the brain that allowed you to switch channels like a TV? I miss being capable and confident. You took everything from me. No one tells you that you're prone to make the same mistakes because you're still the same person. I was the same loser who messed up in the original timeline. I screw up over and over in all of the lives I've lived, and I couldn't save them. You had no problem causing me such pain, such soul-crushing misery. For your personal gain, you are the mistake. You stole every hope from me. Now I have vestiges of all my other selves. My brain is all messed up, even worse than it was originally. I hear the whimpers of despair from the other Rebeccas who are still alive inside my head the whole time. And when they invariably kill themselves because I failed so miserably, I wake up screaming, having vivid nightmares where I relive their death. I ruined all my other lives with my inability to be a functional person. You ruined our lives with your obsession. Now we'll go to hell together. And the secret to mess up with reality, the secret to play God, it dies with us. March 2020. I'm tied to a chair, listening to Becky's speech as she points her gun at me. I had no idea she knew how to shoot. She must have learned in one of her many other lives. She looks so different now. She lost her innocent and delicate demeanor, the thing I liked about her the most. Still, I smile inside, pretty sure that she had rehearsed those lines over and over. I frantically tried to reach something in my pocket while she spoke, dramatically and deliberately. Then as she pulled the trigger, I closed my eyes and envisioned myself jumping. I heard the thud of my possibly lifeless body falling while I crossed between the ether between dimensions, both relieved and nauseated by the new sensation. I've never dispatched myself before. Then I woke up inside a slightly different version of my own body. Longer beard, messier hair, safe and sound. Unfortunately, in that one, Becky had accepted a request I made her long ago and married me. Beside me, she was a depressive mess of matted hair and dark circles under her eyes, only passed out in a restless slumber due to her prescription drugs. But it wasn't always like this. January 2010. I fell for Becky even before the moment that we met. It was like a movie. I saw her cross a crowded restaurant with her sister Christine and their friend Meg, radiant smile coming from within. I asked the waiter to send the ladies some appetizers on me, then to the most beautiful one, the natural blonde, a flute of champagne and my number. I watched their reaction from afar, praising myself for buttering up her two companions, and they smiled as the waiter pointed to me and I waved. After an appropriate amount of time, I approached their table and asked if the appetizers were of their taste. "They're so fancy. Thank you," Becky said with big hazel eyes. "I'm not used to these things, but it's actually my sister's birthday, so I indulged this time." She always sounded so modest and graciously childish. "Happy birthday," I wished Christine, making sure to be polite while still showing clearly that I only had eyes for Becky. "Since it's a special occasion, your tab is on me tonight. Please enjoy." "How should we thank you, mister?" Meg asked, sounding a little suspicious. She was one of those girls that hated all men. "You two only make sure that your beautiful sister and friend will call me." I winked and left them to have fun on their own. Becky called to thank me, and I ended up convincing her to go on a date with me, even though the date consisted of me accompanying her for grocery shopping, because her life was incredibly hard and busy. I loved being with her. That's when I learned that Becky, despite being only 22, had become a single mother at 16. She still lived with her parents, who helped to take care of her son while she worked on putting herself through nurse school. Her dream was being a neuroscientist, and she shyly admitted that she was using all her free time to study it on her own, but she could barely afford her current, cheaper graduation. I offered to help her so many times. Despite not being rich, I was already well established in life at 35, and I could be a great husband. "We can live a perfect life, just the two of us, you know." "Well, what about my son?" she asked, her doe eyes full of worry. "He will be fine with your parents. We'll provide for him, of course." I had an answer for everything. Still, she would refuse me. Said she couldn't date because she wanted to focus on studying and being a good mom. But she trusted me, or at least was aware that I was the smartest person in her life. November 2010. Becky called me as soon as she had had her breakthrough. "Howard, can you come over to talk? I think I've discovered something amazing, and I want to know whether I'm being crazy or not." She wasn't. Using very rudimentary machine invented by herself, she was able to find something the size of a bee that would change everything we knew. We can induce this small part of the brain to be put in tune with another. Well, she sounded embarrassed. So lovely. "Have you heard of dimensional jumping?" Back in 2010, you could already find some obscure forums containing instructions to supposedly switch to parallel realities. Of course, it was a bunch of shit, but it seemed to catch her interest. So I entertained her. "Well, yeah, what about it?" I discovered it's real. If you can use a very specific set of radio waves, she explained, smiling, then turned on an old radio. It has to be just barely audible, so I'll hold it really close to my ear. Oh, wait, let me do it. I don't want you to be a guinea pig. March 2020. Lying in bed beside the empty shell of the woman I love, watching her 30-something face look so much older and distorted by suffering. I tried to recall what came next. I couldn't. I had a blank space of almost a year. The next thing I remember is letting her cry on my shoulder during the funeral. She was holding hands with Christine as we watched the 3 coffins go down. Seeing the smallest one was almost unbearably bitter. September 2011. Her whole family, mom, dad, and 6-year-old son, had been shot at home during one of her first night shifts at the hospital. After the burial, I carried her in my arms like a broken-down bird. "You'll help me jump to a timeline where my family is still alive," she stated as I gently put her on the couch. "It's too experimental, Becky. I don't care. I don't give a damn if I die in the process. You did the test last year and you were just fine, so why wouldn't I? And if I succeed, I'll be happy again and keep them from dying. They'll be alive and safe. You don't want help improving the method first? You could become a rich woman, you know. I don't give a damn about the money. I just want my life back." October 2011. I helped Becky jump dimensions for the first time, back then when her brain was still undamaged. She could recall being from another timeline. She could recall the jumping. She was able to come back at will after around 1 month if she wanted to. November 2011. She returned to the original timeline. Powerless. Her family was killed where she went too. April 2020. I was careless. I don't know why I believed her when she told me that one was the last timeline for her. I'm being followed. August 2012. After helping Becky jump over a dozen times, she started losing her memory from other timelines and felt disoriented. She ordered me to send her to another timeline, an unexplored one, as soon as she came back. Defeated. Broken. September 2012. I had started to buy expensive, obscure drugs to keep her alive. Each time she came back, her brain was starting to physically fall apart. May 2012. I'm being followed by myself. October 2012. One thing led to another, and I ended up showing Becky's discoveries to my dealer. She was uninterested in the money, so I started my dimensional dispatching business alone. Most of my clients were outlaws who didn't want to be there when they got caught. It was a success. February 2013. Oh, please, Becky, just give up. You're not too far gone. Your family can't come back. Just let me be your new family now. You want to be a mother? I'll make you a mother again. May 2013. I didn't force myself on you, Becky. I know you love me. I just need to show you. Please stay. Please stay. July 2014. She's been gone for over a year. I hate her. I've done so much for this ungrateful bitch. Time after time she enters my office with a stupid look on her face and tells me she wants to be dispatched to another dimension. I'm done trying to care for her. I hate her. November 2019. My life is so much better now. After a lot of heartbreak, I finally got over Becky. I'm dating a gorgeous woman, younger and prettier than her. I haven't heard from Rebecca in a long time. It's better off this way. She was mentally ill, chasing rainbows. June 2020. Hello, it's me, the other Howard, the Howard you switched places with, the Howard that got shot and only survived thanks to Becky's kindness. The self you had no problem sending to die as long as you could save your own skin. You have no idea I had the ability to walk freely through timelines, trying to correct the horrible things you've done, did you? You'll be pretty surprised when you realize I've absorbed your consciousness in my body. It means you're as good as gone for everyone else. And only I know where you are, trapped inside my brain, aware but powerless. Let's get one thing straight. The crucial detail you failed to document in your little diary of madness. The fact you so conveniently forgot. You're the one who murdered Becky's family, tried to kidnap the boy to play the hero, but it didn't go as expected. You're an absolute failure of a man and of a human. I'm no saint, but I'm doing what I can to atone for all my selves. Now suffer, asshole. So quoth this raven. Thank you all for coming to visit me in my little chateau. If you have not subscribed, please do so you know when my little stories are up. And special thanks to my Patreon and membership supporters, Ermin, Creepy Clown Girl, Darren and Jennifer, Laura, Mutant Artificial Intelligence, Tabby Cat, and especially Charlotte Emerson and Cortez Williams. And special thanks to my Patreon and membership supporters, Ermin, Creepy Clown Girl, Darren and Jennifer, Laura, Mutant Artificial Intelligence, Tabby Cat, and especially Charlotte Emerson and Cortez Williams.